Hello, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And Eid has officially ended. Yesterday was the third day. So today is officially the end of Eid and is the beginning of just a weekend. So today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. Or wait, let me get that right. Today is Sunday. That's how my brain is right now. Today is Sunday. I see. Why is today Sunday? Okay, so if today's Sunday, then that means because on the 27th was Eid, that was the Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. These 3 days were Eid. So, officially Eid ended on Friday anyway. And yesterday was the first day of the weekend. And today's Sunday. Okay. Now that we've cleared that out for some weird ass reason, let's move on to more important things. Now, one of the most important things here that I need to talk about is understanding, again, as I said, basic etiquette. Because as a person who actually coaches people on social manners and behavioral skills and refinement and speech refinement, which basically is all about, again, social manners and etiquette, I think it makes sense if I, every now and then do a podcast. In fact, most of my podcasts, one way or the other, do reflect on social mannerisms and etiquette. And that is because one of the biggest problems is that we are now meeting more and more people who lack common sense, who lack basic etiquette, and who lack just the having that basic common sense of how to talk to somebody or how to reply or how to behave. And the amount of people who lack in basic manners or basic social manners, it's increasing, and it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing because it shows you that on the one hand you have people who grow up with different personalities and completely different characteristics despite the fact that they come from one family. But then on the other hand, sometimes you begin to wonder if those people reflect their own family background by their behaviors. And now we will talk about a few things that people need to keep in mind, which again, as I said, when I'll start talking about it, most of you will say, isn't that common sense? But the fact that so many people are not observing this common sense is what is going to now then, you will realize that is what makes it very disturbing. The fact that I have to talk about it and the fact that I have to point it out, that in itself is concerning. So, for example, what is the etiquette of gift giving in Eid? In Eid or on Eid, when you, especially Eid al-Azha, or Eid al-Adha, when you basically make a sacrifice, according to the Islamic law and rule and principles set by the Prophet, peace be upon him himself, you have to make portions. And out of that, basically, you have a portion for yourself, you have a portion for gifting, and you have a portion for charity, right? So the portion for gifting then was later on cemented, in the sense that it was cemented by the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, when they followed this hadith of the Prophet, where he said that your neighbors and your friends have a right over your sacrifice, over a portion of your sacrifice, whether they're rich or poor, whether they have made a sacrifice of their own or not. I know that nowadays there's this trend where many people say that, we believe that if somebody else has already sacrificed or are about to sacrifice even the next day, we don't need to give it to them. We'd rather give it to the poor and charity. That's all fine and dandy. But again, this you may choose to, practice it or not. But the fact is that if you start calling it a principle and saying that, because this is the principle, then you're wrong. It's not a principle, because the principle in Islam is that you have to give a portion of your sacrifice to your neighbors, relatives, and friends, okay? And you keep a portion for yourself. And then you keep a portion that is for charity, for the poor, okay? And that's how it is. So whether you choose to do it or not, that's your own prerogative. But to call it a principle and to give the name of Islam on it and say that, no, you see, and then you're wrong, okay? You cannot bring an Islamic principle into this, number one. So number two, when you're gifting somebody something, how should they respond? As the Prophet said, you should never refuse a gift. So if you're giving somebody, even for example, meat, that is hadiah, that is gift. It is not charity. It is not anything. It is not because they've sacrificed or not. It is because it is their right as your neighbors and as your friends. How should they respond? They should respond by saying, thank you very much. Not that, oh, but we're also going to do ours. We don't need it. We don't want it. You rather give it to charity. This is principle. That is principle. What they have done is violated the basic Islamic etiquette of gifts. And the Prophet has specifically and explicitly told us never to offend a person by returning their gift or by saying that, oh, we don't want it or this or that. I know there are many of us who at times we just don't, we feel that maybe we're being the bigger person by refusing their gift, but according to Islam, it's the opposite. We're being a very small, mean person and we're hurting another person's feelings. Okay? Now, here's another basic etiquette. If somebody, for example, calls you and says that, oh, I'm so sorry, but this time I couldn't add this to to a portion of the meat that I was giving you because I know that you normally always request for it. Or maybe I had a misunderstanding that you requested for it this time. And now I'm feeling guilty that I couldn't give it to you. And I'm calling you specifically to say, I'm very sorry that I couldn't give this to you. And instead of saying, now what is the proper way to respond again? Etiquette class, please. What is the proper way to respond here? You would say, oh, it's okay. Actually, I didn't even want it or request it. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. But the fact that you thought about it and the fact that you reached out to me, that in itself is such a nice thing for you to do. And I thank you so much. But so what? Next time, maybe next time. That's one way. Another way is to just say, oh, and another way is not even to mention whether you asked for it or not, or to correct them in their misunderstanding. But you can simply just say, oh, it's okay. I've got enough this time of my own, so I actually don't need it. Thank you very much. Maybe next time. Or another way of saying is, oh, thank you so much. It's okay. It's okay. I don't really need it this time anyway. Thank you so much. But, there's always a thank you. You always say, thank you for thinking about me. Thank you for reaching out to me, even though I never asked for it, even though I never wanted it. But the fact that you thought that I asked for it and you had the courtesy, the decency, the consideration, that you came up to me and said that, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't give this to you this time. That in itself is, appreciable. That is something that I would appreciate and acknowledge. You see the caliber of the person you're dealing with when that person says, who asked for it? I didn't ask for it. No, but why would you say I asked for it? No, but how did you get this misunderstanding that I asked for it? No, but you asked for this thing, but I didn't ask for this thing. Like, seriously, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? As a person who was in the middle of this, when I looked at the two parties, and the fact that the party, instead of being grateful that one of the parties reached out, even if it was a misunderstanding, thinking that they'd requested for something, and saying that, oh, actually, I'm sorry, but at this time I couldn't give this to you. Instead of insulting them, that how could you think I asked for it, and why did you think I asked for it, and how dare you put this, how dare you blame me? It suddenly became a blame. How dare you blame me for asking for something I never asked for? How could you do this to me? Like, seriously, you need to get your head fixed. You seriously do. You need to get your mentality checked. You need to get your brain checked, because nobody of their sound mind, nobody who has even the basic common sense would respond to somebody reaching out with a good heart. This is a sign of a very pure, sincere, good heart if somebody is reaching out to you and saying, oh, I'm sorry, but this time I couldn't give you this. You leave the point out, you leave the key point out, which is that the person is reaching out to you and the person thought about you and the person kept you in his heart, and reached out. And the point you're bringing up is that, oh, why did you even think I asked for it? What kind of a complex do you have? What kind of an inferiority complex do you have that you insult the very person who's reaching out to you to say that, I'm sorry, this time I couldn't give you this? I mean, who does that? What kind of a person does that? What is wrong with you? These are the kind of people that we now see more and more of. Even as you know that, as we say, that this is some kind of a basic etiquette that even an uneducated, illiterate person has. Even if you go to the villages where you think that people are uneducated and unrefined and uncouth and uncultured and uncivilized, guess what? Even they have this basic common sense in them, that if you will go to them and say, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I wanted to give you this and you asked for it but I couldn't, I'm so sorry. What will the other person say? They will say, oh, you thought I asked for it? No, 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 I didn't need it at all. Maybe there was a misunderstanding, but thank you so much for thinking about it, about me, and coming up to me and saying that. But don't worry about it. This is the normal way that a normal person answers. That person is abnormal if they run away with the point that, oh, how dare you think that I asked for something? The point is, even if you asked for it, who cares? The point is not that you asked for it. The point is that the other person is reaching out to you and he's being very courteous and he is actually thinking about you and he's considering you, that he had you in his mind, that he held enough importance for you, that he held you important enough to reach out to you and say sorry about something that he doesn't even have to say sorry, because it's up to him whether he gives it to you or not, even if you've asked for it, by the way. Even if you did ask for it, it's up to that person to give it to you or not. And it's the sign of an ingrate. Yes, you are actually an ingrate when somebody is giving you something and you're acting as if, oh, you didn't have to give it to me. Oh, it's not like I needed it. Oh, I already told you I have so much coming. Yeah, you are actually, in an Islamic etiquette point of view, you are an ingrate. And you are an even bigger ingrate when you actually insult that person. Just because that person, I would think that I would be very touched and moved if a person reached out to me and said, oh, you asked for this thing, but I'm so sorry I couldn't give it to you. Even if I didn't ask for it, and even if I do feel obliged to tell them, the only reason I would be obliged to tell them that I didn't ask for it is to make them feel easy, to make them feel comfortable, to ease their guilt. That is the only reason I would tell them that, oh, actually, I never even asked for it. I don't know what made you think that. Don't worry. You don't need to worry so much. I already have it. I don't even need it. Seriously. I'm so sorry that, in fact, you thought that you had to go through so much guilt thinking that I asked for something and you couldn't give it. You don't have to worry about that because I didn't need it, And don't worry, next time if I need it, I will definitely tell you. To ease the other person's burden, to ease the other person's sense of guilt, I would actually, that's the only reason I would say that, oh yeah, no, I never asked for it. You don't need to worry. I never wanted it. Maybe somebody else asked for it. Maybe you mixed it up, or maybe you forgot or something, or maybe I made you think that I asked for it or whatever. And we just finish it on the, and these things are those things which you literally just finish on the spot. Because for another very, very short and sweet way is, oh, you know what? You asked for this thing, I couldn't give it to you. And I'm like, oh, no, actually, I didn't ask for it. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, really? Oh, then why are we going on about it for? Let's just finish it. That's the right way to communicate. And that's the normal way normal people communicate. There is seriously something very wrong with you if you dodge this key point that somebody is thinking about you and somebody cares about you and somebody is considering you. And your point, the point that you're running away with is, oh, I didn't ask for it. How dare you say I asked for it? How could you think I asked for it? Like, what is wrong with you again? What is wrong with you? There's something very seriously wrong with you if you are running away with that point, And I think it's the other person's greatness that they are still trying, instead of you apologizing to them for being uncivilized, uncouth, and an ingrate, they are actually still trying to say that, oh, you know what, forget it, it's okay. And they're taking the blame for something that actually they don't even need to be. Imagine that you actually have to say sorry to somebody that, oh, I'm so sorry that I thought about you and that I approached you and that I said that I was sorry that I couldn't give this thing to you because I thought you asked for it. Imagine, you have to say sorry to such people for reaching out to them, for thinking about them. These are the kind of people that are now, these are the kind of people that you're dealing with nowadays, and you really begin to think that, what, social manners, parents, you need to really work on your social manners in teaching your children social manners, etiquette, basic etiquette of how to answer somebody, how to respond to somebody, how to finish a conversation in a civilized manner. Yeah. You see, even as we talk about it, we're thinking, what kind of a person does that? Isn't it? Everybody, I'm sure almost everybody is thinking that this isn't that basic common sense. Like, isn't that the only way we can respond? Who is that idiot who responded like that? Yeah. Unfortunately, there are more and more of such idiots. And that is why, when people say, oh, people are not socializing anymore, people are always on social media, people are this, people are that, our kids are introverts and this and that. Yeah, it's because you're breeding more and more people of this type. People of this type who don't even have the common sense, the basic common sense of how to respond to such a simple situation where you just say, oh, no, we didn't ask for it, but thank you so much for reaching out. But we seriously don't need it. Don't worry about it. You don't even need to bother, and that's it. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. That's the only way we respond to such things. I don't even understand why is it that there are people now that you have to interact with who do not even have this basic common sense. And not only do they not know how to drop the subject, but they actually make it a point to insult you for thinking about them. Like, are you serious? This is why people are now limiting their social interactions and retrieving, because there's another problem now that's also occurred, is that when you help somebody, for charity, or when you help somebody who comes to you and asks for help, then that person starts coming to you thinking that it is their birthright, and now it is your duty. And they also start threatening you. They start threatening you and they start emotionally blackmailing you that you have to give them the money. Like, why? Why do you have to give them the money? Or why do you have to fund any project of theirs? Or why do you have to help them in any way? You don't. That's the whole point. That's why it's called generosity. That's why it's called kindness. Because it is something that is voluntary. It is something that you wish to do or you can refuse to do. And there is no blame on you if you refuse to do it. Similarly, there are people who are professional beggars, for example. They are professional beggars. And they come and they beg money from you as if, again, it is your duty and it is their right. Why even? Seriously, why even? What is it about people that they have forgotten this basic common sense that when you ask somebody to do something for you, he's not obliged to do it for you? If you ask somebody for something, he's not obliged to give it to you. It is his kindness, his generosity that he even considers you. And the fact that you just ignore that point and run away with another point, Why even? Our people are lacking in basic etiquette. Our people are lacking in social manners. And then our people are complaining about how our children and our generation and our children's generation do not like to interact socially with people. The truth is because more and more people are not worth interacting with. If you cannot have a simple, normal, sane conversation with somebody, then why would you want to put yourself through that mental torture of socially interacting with people? Why? This is utter insanity. To be honest, if you look at it in a psychological point of view, then this is literally a part of insanity. This is abnormality. And so we have more and more abnormal people. We have more and more psycho cases amongst us that are making it very hard to interact in a cool and calm and sane manner. This is ulta chor kotwal ko dante. It's the same thing all over again. It's like you're wrong, but you are berating the person who tried to do something good, and you're telling him that he's wrong. Yes, you know what? Okay, here's the new principle. It is wrong to help people. It is wrong to consider other people. It is wrong to be kind to people. It is wrong to help people. And it is wrong to help people even if they ask for it, because they are not going to be grateful. If somebody asks you to refer them to a doctor, do not. Please do not. Because if anything goes wrong, God forbid, they're going to blame you for it. If somebody asks you to, for any health related issues, do you have this medicine? Do you have that medicine? Don't give it to them. Because if, again, God forbid, anything happens, you're going to be blamed. This is the day and time now. These are the times we're living in where we should not do good for others. Instead, we are now supposed to be focusing on how to save ourselves from others. As Hazrat Ali said, you should beware the evil of the person you do good for. Yeah, you really should. You should beware the evil of the person that you have spent a lot of time on being generous with, that you're being kind to. Because the more you do for somebody, the more there are chances that he will start taking it for granted, and then he will act as if you owe him when actually he owes you. Or maybe that is the inferiority complex here, that they know on the inside that they owe you. They feel small, and then they feel bitter, and then their ego blows up, and then they attack you. So yeah, that is why I'm saying this is not the time for us to be kind or nice or to be generous to others. This is the time when we have to be very, very careful, very cautious. This is the time where if you hit somebody with a car, and even if you take him to the hospital and help him, he is going to blame you for hitting him with the car, and he is going to make you pay damages. But if you hit somebody with the car and run away, then yeah, you're okay, because then nobody can catch you, right? I mean, this is how we're promoting immoral activities. This is how we're promoting the death of values. And this is the death of common sense and social etiquette. And this is me signing out, because I seriously think such people should be cut off from your life, who do not even know how to respond to a very normal, everyday act of goodwill and consideration. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.